Cepher Bible, Genesis 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished and all the host of them. And on the seventh day Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahuwah Elohim made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Yahuwah Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And Yahuwah Elohim formed a man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living soul. And Yahuwah Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made Yahuwah Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. The name of the first is Pishon, that is it which compasses Aleph, the whole land of Cavilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. The name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasses Aleph, the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river is Chiddekel, that is it which goes toward the east of Asher. And the fourth river is Perath. And Yahuwah Elohim took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to guard it. Yahuwah Elohim commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it, for in the day that you eat thereof you shall surely die. And Yahuwah Elohim said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. Now of the ground Yahuwah Elohim formed every beast of the field, and Aleph every fowl of the air, and brought them unto the man to see what he would call them. And whatsoever the man called every living creature, that was the name thereof. The man gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field, but for the man there was not found a helpmeet for him. And Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from one man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And the man said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his woman, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his woman, and were not ashamed. Messianic Aleph Scriptures, Genesis 2. So the heavens, the earth, and everything in them were finished, and on the seventh day Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And blessed Elohim, Aleph day, the seventh, and sanctified, set apart, consecrated, Aleph it, because in it he rested Shabbat from all his works which created Elohim and made. These are the generations, history of the heavens and of the earth when they were created. On the day that Jehovah our Elohim made the earth and the heavens, there was no wild bush on the earth, and no wild plant had sprung up, for Jehovah our Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth. And there was no Adam, man, to till the Aleph ground. But a mist came up from the earth, which watered Aleph whole face of the ground, and formed Jehovah our Elohim, Aleph Adam, man, of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And Adam, man, became a living soul. And Jehovah our Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden, and he put there Aleph Adam, whom he had formed. Now the ground made Jehovah our Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life was also in the midst of the garden, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water Aleph garden, and from there it was divided into four streams. The name of the first is Pizon, dispersive, which compasses Aleph whole land of Havilah, circular, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium, aromatic resin, and onyx stone. The name of the second river is Gihon, gushed forth, which compasses Aleph whole land of Ethiopia, or Cush. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, usually identified as Tigris, meaning swift, which goes toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates, the great stream. And took Jehovah our Elohim, Aleph Adam, man, and put him into the garden of Eden to cultivate it and care for it. And commanded Jehovah our Elohim concerning Adam, you may eat freely of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you may not eat from it, because in the day that you eat from it you will certainly die. And said Jehovah our Elohim, it is not good that Adam should be alone. I will make him a helper suitable for him. And out of the ground Jehovah our Elohim formed every beast of the field, the dove, and every bird of the air, brought them to Adam, to see what he would call them. Whatever Adam called every living creature soul, that was the name of it. And Adam gave names to all the cattle, and to the birds of the air, and to every wild beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper for him. And Jehovah our Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took Jehovah one of his took Aleph, one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh in its place. And made he Jehovah our Elohim Aleph, the rib, which he took from Adam, and formed a woman, and brought her to Adam. And said Adam, Aleph, this is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. For this she will be called woman, because out of man was taken. This she therefore will leave the man his father and his mother, and will cling to his wife, and they will be one flesh. And they were both naked, but Adam and his wife were not ashamed. Brenton, Septuagint, Genesis 2. And God finished on the sixth day his works which he had made, and ceased on the seventh day from all his work which he made. And God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because in it he ceased from all his works which God began to do. This is the book of the generation of heaven and earth, when they were made, in the day in which the Lord God made the heaven and the earth. And every herb of the field before it was on the earth, and all the grass of the field before it sprang up. For God had not rained on the earth, and there was not a man to cultivate it. But there rose a fountain out of the earth, and watered the whole face of the earth. And God formed the man of dust of the earth, and breathed upon his face the breath of life, and the man became a living soul. And God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and placed there the man whom he had formed. And God made to spring up also out of the earth every tree beautiful to the eyes, and good for food, and the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of learning, the knowledge of good and evil. And the river proceeds out of Eden to water the gardens, that divides itself into four heads. The name of the one Pison. This is in which encircles the whole land of Evelat, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There also is carbuncle and emerald. And the name of the second river is Gihon. This is it which encircles the whole land of Ethiopia. And the third river is Tigris. This is that which flows forth over against the Assyrians. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the Lord God took the man whom he had formed, and placed him in the garden of delight, to cultivate and keep it. And the Lord God gave charge to Adam, saying, of every tree which is in the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, of it ye shall not eat, but in whatsoever day ye eat of it, ye shall surely die. The Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. Let us make for him a help suitable to him. And God formed yet farther out of the earth, and all the wild beasts of the field, and all the birds of the sky. And he brought them to Adam, to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called any living creature, that was the name of it. And Adam gave names to all the cattle, and to all the birds of the sky, and to all the wild beasts of the field. But for Adam there was not found a help like to himself. And God brought a trance upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and filled up the flesh instead thereof. And God formed a rib which he took from Adam into a woman, and brought her to Adam. And Adam said, this now is bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of her husband. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. And the two were naked, both Adam and his wife, and were not ashamed. Targum Onkelos, Genesis 2. And the heavens and the earth and all their hosts were completed, and the Lord finished in the seventh day his work which he had wrought, and rested in the seventh day from all his work which he had wrought. And the Lord blessed the seventh day, and made it holy, because in it he rested from all his work which the Lord had created to make. These are the memorials of the heaven and the earth, when they were created in the days when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. And all the trees of the field were not yet in the earth, and every herb of the field had not yet sprung up, because the Lord God had not caused rain to come upon the earth, and there was no man to cultivate the ground. And the mist descended from the earth, and moistened all the faces of the ground. And the Lord God created Adam from the dust of the ground, and breathed out upon his face the breath of life, and it became in Adam a discerning spirit. And the Lord God planted a garden in the region of pleasantness in the first time of the beginning. And he made to dwell there the man whom he had created. And the Lord God caused to grow from the earth every tree desirable to look upon, and good for food, and the tree of life lives, in the midst of the garden, and a tree of whose fruit they who eat know between good and evil. And a river went forth from Eden to water the garden. From thence it was divided, and became 4 heads of rivers, or chid rivers. The name of the first is Pishon, that which encompasses all the lands of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of the land is good. There is Bidalka and Berylla stones. The name of the second river is Gichon, which encompasses all the land of Cush. The name of the third river is Digalath, which goes to the east of Ether. And the fourth river is Pharat. And the Lord God took Adam and placed him in the garden of Eden to culture it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded Adam, saying, Of every tree of the garden eating thou mayest eat, but of the tree of whose fruit they who eat know between good and evil thou shalt not eat. For in the day that thou eatest of it, dying thou shalt die. And the Lord God said, It is not right that Adam should be solitary. I will make for him a helper as for his sake, or as suited to him, Hebrew kenegdo, as his counterpart. And the Lord God created from the earth every beast of the field, and every fowl of the heavens, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And every name by which Adam called the living animals, that was his name. And Adam called the name of all the cattle, and of the fowl of the heavens, and of every beast of the field, but to Adam was not found a helper as for him. And the Lord God threw a sleep upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and filled with flesh its place thereof. And the Lord God builded the rib which he took from Adam into woman, and he brought her unto Adam. And Adam said, This time is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This shall be called woman, because from her husband this was taken. Therefore shall a man forsake the couch, Beth Mishkeb, the sleeping house, of his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, Adam and his wife, and were not ashamed.